Hello, everyone. My name is Robert. I'm a data science manager at Outreach. Today, my lightning talk will talk about how we measure model qualities beyond using only F1 scores. First of all, what is Outreach? We are a sales execution platform that focuses on providing tools to sales orgs by automating sales engagement and actions on revenue intelligence. We offer three products, each of which cater to one persona in the sales org. My team contribute to Outreach Guide, which is the red highlighted text, that focus on helping sales reps and account executives to win sales opportunities, which is also known as deals. To achieve that, our team has developed an ML model called Deal Health Score. The model will output a number between 0 and 100 to measure the likelihood of your company winning a certain deal. There are only two outcomes to a deal, win or lose, so this is essentially a binary classification problem. And we all know by combining the precision and recall into a single matrix, F1 score is a great measurement for this kind of binary classification models. And this is something one can easily learn from the textbooks as well. So our goal started pretty simple at producing a model with at least 80% F1 score. Just for some background, our model's input includes data ranges from sales activities, like all the emails, phone calls, and meetings happen during the deal lifecycle, to the basic deal information collected by the sales rep, the size or amount of the deals, when do we anticipate the deal will be closed, the current stage of deals, and the history beyond that. We also include the usage of Outreach's own features in this process, like our mutual action plan product called Success Plan, or the meeting recording analytics tool called Kaya. So after several quarters of hard working, our team has been steadily improving the model alpha score on our test dataset. We increased from the initial 45% to our release candidate of 81%. This is actually a pretty impressive number, to be honest. Our teammates are super happy. And we started alpha testing by feeding the daily health score to our own sales rep. We have also received great feedback from our reps. They all think the score is more or less reflecting their own feelings about the deals, although they cannot comment on the precision precisely because humans are pretty bad at it. They all agree ranking deals by health score does help the deal review cycles so that it can prioritize high risk or low risk deals based on the current strategy at play. So everything looks so great. We can't wait to ship that to production. With an 81% of S score, what can really go wrong? It turns out things can go wrong. Not that you can tell it from day one, but the more you use it, the more our power users can tell the score do have room to improve. So we define our model integrities as it needs to behave consistently throughout the life cycle of the deals, which currently it falls short. For example, we have found an interesting deals that have received a 53 score on Friday and a 78 score on Monday. This radical 25 point difference is pretty rare. And the deal health trend, as you can see, is reflected by the red lines on the graph comparing to a typical green lines, which is more or less stable across business days. So we also look at the data itself. Due to the fact the score changes happen during a weekend, there's actually not many business activities going on during weekend. As you still recall, our data set includes the activities over there. We have observed only 2 new emails exchanged between Friday and Monday. So upon digging further, our teammates figure out it is actually caused by unseen values. So there are obviously a lot of activities going on in this deal. And by Friday, we have seen 305 emails within the past 30 days. And this is a significant input to our model. Our model actually has never seen such a high number of 305 before. That's why it is actually spitting out a score on 53s on Friday while giving out a 73 on Monday, because we're not using a regression model. there's no linear behaviors among certain axes, so the model choked on these rare unseen values. So we retrospectively inspected our daily predictions as our training set and figure out it turns out that about 3% of active deals are being impacted by such issues like unseen values. So we're also be able to reproduce this issue in our test set by fabricating some new test data points. However, our F1 score wasn't really impacted by these issues just because of the low occurrence of these issues. So the score impact is actually negligible. So we have to ask ourselves, we have a new problem. How do we keep improving our model's integrities and keep measuring the improvements as well? The answer for that after brainstorming and research is to create 3 more custom matrix in order to capture what F1 score failed to capture. So these are closely related to our business. We measure the model stabilities against jittery, which is without any major business events happening, the score should not change more than a certain threshold. Our partner team, our product manager partners help define what actual major business events means by conducting interviews with our account executives. The second matrix is how many times has the priority reverse. Basically, want to measure how many nonlinear behaviors are shown among certain important axes. We have already identified email is a pretty important number of emails is a pretty important features in our model. So we have defined certain features that a nonlinear behavior is not ideal. Although we cannot prevent them from happening, we do want this situation to happen as least as possible because it will just confuse people. For example, the more emails you send, the more conversation you are having with the customer. When your score is actually dropping, this will lead to confusions and reducing the trust of our score. We also want to adhere to business common sense. In the example of having high activities in a deal, we prefer the score to be higher than lower because this is what human normally would behave. And we don't want our score to present a drastic different conclusions without concrete evidence behind that. So now with these improvements, our new goals become releasing a model that not only meeting the F1 score bar, but also need to demonstrate certain integrities. And now we're seeing a updated OKR on our slide. One thing to know that the update matrix is a joint effort between product manager and data scientists. So the interviews and the collaborations with business people is definitely important in order for those matrix to be formulated. So now our takeaway by generalizing our learning is when your model's prediction is contributing to a long-term solution, in our case, closing deals, the F1 score is probably not sufficient since it's usually only measure the model's performance at a given time or snapshot. We believe it is important to brainstorm additional metrics at the earliest convenience. And the product teams and business teams need to be involved in this process because they are the domain experts. And the user's expectation is very important to make your score usable and trustworthy. After that, we have to actively think about how these metrics can be collected during the development time as well as continuously after shipping to production, and have your plan C, D, and B ready when these matrix changes or degraded. So this is a still ongoing journey. A lot of these things are easier said than done, but we're in a pretty good situation right now at 2022, where ML model has already been considered mostly a solved questions, and the industry focus has shifted to model operations. We're seeing new tools popping up every month that help alleviate a part of this problem, and this is probably the reason why you're attending this talk today. So hopefully our recommendations is helpful to your own project and into your project's future success. Thank you so much for listening today.